Well, we are set for more boxing as Leona Brown has captured her title against Katie Burton. Before we get to our main event, we have a 6-round junior bantamweight bout for you. Kathy Williams of Thunder Bay, Ontario, will square off against Jayla Ortiz of Santa Fe, New Mexico, from the Tropicana Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Glad that you can join us for Friday Night Fights. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein. Al, Leona Brown is making the most of her victory.
She does not want to leave. Now she's over there embracing her fans. She did a nice dance in the ring for about 3 or 4 minutes after the bout. And here it is. We get a good view of it as she embraces the belt that she has and then says, you know what, I need to do a little more. She knows where the camera is. Very good, Leona.
Little shimmy. First time she did it, the belt came off, but they got the belt secured, and Leona Brown takes it back to Pauling, New York with a tremendous effort.
That's one of the things about women's boxing, the unbridled enthusiasm of the athletes. They have not had a chance, really, to show that off and compete in the past.
As we mentioned, we have a 6-round bout for you coming up. Don't forget our main event, too. Kathy Collins and Leah Mellinger each hold junior welterweight championships, and they will fight for each other's titles tonight.
That was Jayla Ortiz we were looking at.
And there's Kathy Williams.
Kathy Williams coming in now to do battle.
All right, let's send it up to Dean Calabrese.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next battle of the evening is scheduled for 6 rounds in the junior bantamweight division. Your referee in control of the contest is Lindsay Page. Introducing first in the red corner, wearing green trunks, weighing in at 117 pounds. From Santa Fe, New Mexico, her professional record reads 3 wins. All 3 wins are coming by way of knockout, 3 defeats and 2 draws. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Jayla Ojitos Verdes Ortiz. Her opponent in the blue corner, wearing black trunks with gray trim, weighs in at 113 pounds. From Montreal, Quebec, Canada, now residing in Thunder Bay, Ontario, she brings from the north a professional record of 1 win by KO and no defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Kathy the Shadow Williams.
30-year-old Kathy Williams fighting for the 2nd time in her professional career. She turned pro on July the 31st, scoring a 1st-round knockout. Part of the Tony Pimentel stable in Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Kathy is a southpaw, but likes to switch back to righty, so we'll see if we see much of that in this bout. She comes out using that jab effectively right off the get-go and throwing good combinations.
You will see that a lot in women's boxing, especially since the game is still in its very early stages. You'll see lots of boxers coming from 1 or 2 gyms, clusters in an area. Like tonight, a lot of boxers from Thunder Bay and from the Ontario area.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because once a gym caters to women boxers and they start to encourage it, that's the place you'll find them. Williams using the jab and the straight left hand very effectively, and Ortiz has not been able to get on the inside. She started to throw the left hook a moment ago. Good weapon against the lefty, but has not been able to go back to it. Whereas we saw Katie Burton not able to use her height and reach advantage in the last bout against Leona Brown, Williams has been able to, but some of that is that Ortiz is not quite what Leona Brown was.
Ortiz covering up here in round number 1. Williams in the black and silver with a 2-inch height advantage.
Tell that Kathy Williams is comfortable throwing the jab and the straight left and trying to mix into right hooks, but it's not something she immediately goes to. Although there she does throw it as her leadoff punch.
This is a scheduled 6-round bout. Kathy Williams of Thunder Bay, Ontario, and Jayla Ortiz of Santa Fe, New Mexico on ESPN2. Welcome back to Atlantic City, New Jersey. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein, ESPN2's Friday Night Fights. Kathy Williams in the black and silver. Jayla Ortiz in the green. Begin round number 2, scheduled for 6. These are junior bantamweights. Let's take a look at numbers in round number 1.
Williams with the edge in round 1. Not a huge edge in terms of punches landed, but threw so many more than Ortiz. And her punches were much sharper, I thought.
Don't forget, coming up in our main event, Leah Mellinger puts her portion of the junior welterweight championship on the line against Kathy Collins. Collins will put her title on the line tonight. Collins 11-0 with 3 knockouts. That coming up in our main event. Earlier, Leona Brown, unanimous 10-round win against Katie Burton. And Margaret Sidoroff stopped Rose Johnson. Johnson did not answer the bell to begin round number 3.
Good combinations by Williams, but very much arm punches. She really needs to get more leverage into those blows. And she was backing up when she threw some of those combinations. Elite Promotions, the people putting this one on. There are a couple of groups that are doing a lot of all women's bout cards, in addition, of course, the women being mixed in with the men. Ortiz not able to get on the inside, really, where she can do some damage with those left hands that she's throwing. If the bout continues to be weights on the outside, you have to think Williams will have a big edge.
Well, you can say what you want about women's boxing, but it draws a crowd. Good crowd here tonight at the Tropicana. Final seconds of round 2, scheduled for 6. Jayla Ortiz, Kathy Williams on ESPN2. Kathy Williams getting set for the start of round number 3 against Jayla Ortiz, scheduled for 6. Junior bantamweights in Atlantic City, New Jersey. A lot of holding, a lot of grabbing. None of the boxers been in really any trouble so far. And Williams numbers in round 2.
Yeah, Williams in the last round, winning that round rather decisively. Ortiz not throwing too many and not able to get many in either.
Not a stirring percentage, connect percentage for either boxer.
No, it's been an uneven effort. Ortiz a 500 fighter, which in women's boxing doesn't always mean you're down there, because a lot of times everybody's fighting each other, so almost everybody could be at 500 in certain weight divisions. But in this case, Williams really with a pretty decided edge. Next week, we're going to be on site at the Oscar De La Hoya card against Chavez. We're going to have a special 1-hour show. Lamont Brewster, who will have a new opponent now. Terry McGroom is out, but Lamont Brewster will be highlighted along with that big fella, the Butterbean.
That's right. Next Friday night, ESPN's Friday Night Fights from the Thomas & Mack Arena in Las Vegas. We are on the air at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for a 1-hour affair.
Is Ortiz landing a left hand? Williams is, while she's thrown a lot of punches in this round, has not been very effective. Not as much so as she was in the first couple of rounds. Well, obviously this one less action-packed than the last bout with Leona Brown and Katie Burton.
As we come to the end of round number 3, this signifies the midway point of the bout of Williams and Ortiz from Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Here at the Trop.
Welcome back to Atlantic City, New Jersey. Jayla Ortiz begins her march to the center of the ring to meet Kathy Williams. Good right hand by Williams to start round number 4.
Kathy Williams trying to put an end to this, going after Ortiz, but not very economical or precise with her punches. Wasted a lot of punches there. When she's aggressive, though, Ortiz has a very hard time, and you see that there.
And Ortiz in a little bit of trouble here. It's tied up against the ropes. Now she holds on for dear life. Al's scorecard after 3 rounds.
I have Williams ahead 30-20. I made the last round even. Neither very effective. This round, clearly Williams is getting more done. It's a straight left that has bothered Ortiz.
And a right hand.
Mixing in the right hook is Williams. Ortiz just able to get very little done offensively. Almost nothing. She's being aggressive, and she walks into a right hook, does Jayla Ortiz.
30 seconds to go in round 4. No knockdowns in the bout.
Looking forward to our main event. Leah Mellinger and Kathy Collins. They should put on a slugfest.
We had a good one between Leona Brown and Katie Burton. Round number 4 coming to its end. Scheduled for 6. Back to Atlantic City after this brief timeout. Welcome back to the Tropicana in Atlantic City, New Jersey. ESPN2's Friday Night Fights. Bob Papa, Al Bernstein in the ring. Kathy Williams and Jayla Ortiz. Kathy Collins coming up in our main event. Williams in the black and gray. Ortiz in the green. Good round number 4 for Williams. And the numbers will dictate that.
Even though she is outlanding Ortiz, I think they would certainly like to improve on that 25% landed. And obviously she is still in the embryonic stages of her career, only in her 2nd fight. So clearly Kathy Williams expects to get better. Because she's 30 years old, and a lot of women, as we've said, starting a little later in life now because the sport has just taken root.
Ortiz 3-3-2 with 3 knockouts. Remember, the rounds are 2 minutes apiece. Ortiz with a little counter after slipping a punch.
That's the first time she's really stepped in with the left hook. Obviously, against the southpaw, you want to use that punch. I've emphasized that over the years here on ESPN.
Let her go. Let her go.
And again, the awkwardness of the fight shows up a bit.
Williams not using the jab quite as much there. She gets it out there. It doesn't land.
Closing seconds of round 5, the 6th and final round to come after this timeout. Welcome back to Atlantic City. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein. We begin the 6th and final round of the scheduled 6-round bout between Kathy Williams of Thunder Bay, Ontario, 1-0 with 1 knockout against Jayla Ortiz of Santa Fe, New Mexico in the green, 3-3-2 with 3 knockouts. Take a look at the jab numbers, Al. That sort of tells a story.
You know, the interesting thing is Williams really should be winning that jab battle by a lot more. She's been using the jab, and we think she's way ahead, but it's mostly set-up punches like that straight left hand. I think they really would like to see her landing more of those jabs. I'm surprised Ortiz has even landed 8 jabs. This has been about dictated almost exclusively by styles and body type. The fact that Williams is so much taller and has the reach and is the southpaw has made this virtually an unwinnable fight for Ortiz, at least in our view. She's been unable and doesn't quite have the skill level to get inside and do the things she needs.
Nice jab there from Ortiz.
Ortiz would be looking a little better if she had a conventional fighter that was not, you know, taller than her. She could engage in, I think, maybe a little bit better battle.
Combination from Williams.
These are two women, obviously, who haven't yet honed their skills. They're at the beginning stages of their career. Williams, I think, will get better. It's only her second fight. And she has the basics of the sport. It's just a matter of refining it.
Short little right hand from Williams. There's the bell to end the fight for an hour clock, 2 seconds early, but
That's not good.
I'm sure it really didn't matter.
We've gone late on occasion. It's better early than late, I think.
Kathy Williams of Thunder Bay, Ontario, and Jayla Ortiz finished their 6-round bout.
Good fight. Good fight.
And Jayla Ortiz hoping to not fall below the 500 mark for her career.
Well, Purdue Boilermakers, tough loss to Southern Cal. I thought they were going to win that game. Of course, I'm from the Midwest, so I always end up rooting for Big Ten teams.
Kathy Williams is rooting for herself against Jayla Ortiz. And let's see if we are set with the decision. We are. Here's Dean Calabrese.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing here at the Tropicana Casino and Resort, we go to the scorecards, and our judges have reached a unanimous decision. Judge Gene Williams scores the bout 56-58. George Al Bennett scores the bout 55-59. And Judge Deborah Barnes scores the bout 55-59. All to the winner by unanimous decision, and still undefeated, Kathy the Shadow Williams.
Interesting presentation of the numbers, but a unanimous decision for Kathy Williams. She improves to 2-0 as she beats Jayla Ortiz over 6 rounds of action.